Hello, my name is ELENI Antoniadou, and I'm honored to be part of the first European celebration of Women in Computing, supported by the European Commission and the European Centre for Women and Technology. From an early age, I've always been a tech-savvy kid, interested in computing but also in space and medicine. My initial interest in computers was sparked when at the age of 6 years old, I was astounded to learn that a computer of the Apollo 11 mission, much like the one that my dad had brought home, took the first man to the moon. To my great disappointment, knowing how to operate my MS-DOS computer and save my paint drawings on a floppy disk didn't get me into space. But my fearless command prompt skills definitely prepared me for a lifelong journey in computing that culminated with a degree in computer science and biomedical informatics. Angling to be upstream of technological change, I used to bait unusual coding tasks, and more often than not, I found interesting applications. For example, that I could use programmable sensors to develop a portable telemonitoring electrocardiograph, program a robotic arm for telesurgery, and operate a 3D printer to produce scaffolds for transplants and artificial organs. I soon came to the realization that the essence of computer science is cumulative, in a way that it provides the conceptual means and the language to interpret phenomena from other disciplines and synergistically build new knowledge. From aerospace engineering to regenerative medicine, computer science has enabled us, for example, to calculate the rocket trajectories, to lasso an asteroid and exploit its novel resources, or even develop precise simulations for the development of therapies based on stem cells and nanoparticles to target incurable cancers. The multidisciplinary nature of computer science inclined me to pursue my graduate and doctoral studies in nanotechnology, bioengineering, and regenerative medicine, and I had the privilege to apply my knowledge in hospital settings, gain life-changing experiences through volunteering in medical missions to assist organ trafficking victims in Latin America, contribute in pioneering projects at NASA, and also enabled me to launch my own entrepreneurial activities. Throughout my personal journey, I was inspired by my female university professors, the women transplant surgeons at the hospital, and later on by the female astronauts at NASA that refused to surrender to social stereotypes and thrived in their careers. However, even today, few people acknowledge the constraints that women in science and technology are under, let alone take responsibility for their role in perpetuating them. The biggest obstacle is the one that we refuse to see. This doesn't always seem to have percolated through people's mindsets. Numbers of women in computing are improving, but at a glacial speed. And it's intriguing that there are historically some rather familiar examples of the influence of women in computing, from Ada Lovelace, the first computer programmer in 1843, to Grace Hopper in 1950s, who invented the first compiler, Adele Goldstein, who contributed towards the first electronic digital computer, and Thelma Estring, that developed a computer automated system to analyze brain neural patterns. I think that it's evident that these women were not just pioneers in computing. They were also on the frontier of changing women's roles and perceptions in society, and for the first time, coming to grips with competing career and family obligations. And I cannot help but wonder, if a 19th century British countess can establish the computer science profession at the age of 27, then why can we persuade more than a few hundred young women to study it every year at a university? It is our responsibility today to address issues with regards to unconscious bias at work, lack of mentoring and role models, particularistic job selection, the hurdle of combining an active science career with childbearing, the gender pay gap, and also to continue efforts for affordable quality childcare and sufficient maternity leave policies for all women throughout Europe and the world. In 2016, we can expect women to hide career breaks due to maternal obligations on their CVs to retain their competitiveness. And it's of paramount importance to make sure we are not subliminally giving off messages that say girls can't do science, don't get math, or can't code. I believe that these factors matter for us as a society and for the individual. We all need to develop antennae to check that our unconscious bias are not taking over our rational thoughts. Interestingly enough, it seems to me that the technology itself has made more ground for gender equality than the humankind over centuries. The Internet of Things has been a tool of liberation for women, allowing them to discover, build new things, connect and support each other, and claim their economic independence. This year I have the honor to serve as the president of the European Health Parliament, where we attempt to cross-fertilize, leverage, and reinvent the healthcare systems throughout the innovation agenda. in order to improve the health policies for a more equitable world. Our 5 health committees explore, among others, ways to incorporate wearable technologies that educate people about healthy lifestyles in support of the prevention and self-care scheme, strategies to bridge the digital literacy gap among medical professions, policies that would allow the creation of a safe and efficient centralized medical record system throughout Europe that would empower the patients and could prevent from the misuse or overuse of antibiotics, for example, and recommendations for the safe use of mobile applications to assist with the health monitoring of the refugee population and to improve and screen the quality of food that we eat with respect to the environment. Because small contributions can swiftly and strikingly grow momentum and value, I hope that you will join us today in raising awareness about the importance of giving access and educating the youth of today about technology. I firmly believe that in less than a decade, not knowing how to code will be considered a form of illiteracy. But I hope that we're going to see a resurgence of interest from women in not only coding, but all sorts of tech-related careers over the next few years. Finally, my message to all of you young girls that find yourself growing up in the most privileged or to the least privileged corner of Europe, whether you have access to technology or it's beyond your reach, don't stop imagineering a better future and make every effort to evolve and educate yourself at every possible opportunity. Rather than exhausting your energy on pointing out what is currently wrong, believe in yourself and focus on pointing out what is possible. Better yet, make it happen. Thank you.